Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Washington Gun Rights. If you're a gun owner in House District number 10, this is Island County and portions of Skagit and Snohomish counties, take a moment to watch this brief video about the position number 2 race between Representative Dave Paul and his challenger, Gary Wray. Guys, everyone knows it's been a tough couple years in Olympia in the fight for the Second Amendment. Jay Inslee passed one of the nation's worst bans on so-called assault weapons. Heck, he even banned the parts kits that we need to keep our current rifles in functioning condition. And the fight to overturn that tyrannical BS will continue in federal court for some time. The problem, though, is that the radical left in Olympia is not done trying to attack our gun rights. We saw that this year. In fact, the agenda items they have lined up, especially if Bob Ferguson becomes the governor, is going to make things much, much worse for all of us. So it's critical that gun owners, especially in swing districts, send a message at election time that gun owners will hold people accountable for their votes against our right to keep and bear arms. Guys, in this video, I can't tell you who to vote for. What we like to do here, though, Washington Gun Rights, is give you guys the information you have to make a more informed decision. Now, before I get to that, a brief programming note. Because of the crazy laws here in Washington State, we can't boost this video on social media. In other states, gun rights groups can do videos like this. They can spend their donor dollars and they can have tens of thousands of people watch videos like this in the specific district that they're talking about. We don't have that option here. We rely on other means, text message and things like that, to accomplish the goal. But you can help us out by tagging your friends in the comment section and sharing this video on your own social media platforms. Please help us by doing that. Now, this video, we're going to begin with the challenger, Gary Wray. It's a very short report when it comes to Gary. Gary absolutely stands for the Second Amendment, and he simply thinks that common sense approaches need to be re-examined here in Olympia. He knows that gun control only benefits violent criminals who, frankly, are pillaging our big cities all across the state. It's not a big secret. Everyone knows it, but the radical left. Gary Wray opposes the leftist agenda in Olympia, and that will include the gun control bills that come forward next session. Short and sweet when it comes to Gary Wray. That brings up Representative Dave Paul. He's been in office since 2018. And unfortunately, there's a long list of gun control bills that he has supported. I'm not going to take too much time on this. We all know the bills that have become law here over the last couple of years. I am going to mention them, but it's really important to talk about what's coming next, what's coming down the road at us, because again, they're not done trying to attack our gun rights. But you should not forget that Dave Paul was a yes vote on the AR-15 ban. We have violent gangs, again, running wild throughout all of our big cities right now, not just here in Washington State, but nationwide. And the last thing we should do is take away what citizens can possess for self-defense. But Dave Paul disagreed, voted for that bill. And if it gets you or your family hurt or killed, he doesn't care. That's just the bottom line. Number 2, Dave Paul was a yes vote on the magazine ban. Because again, with gangs, with violent gangs carousing around our cities, and not just in the cities anymore, it makes great sense to limit the self-defense options of good people like you and me. It's absolutely absurd, and Dave Paul was a yes vote on that. Number 3, he was a yes vote on the ban on open carry in certain sensitive places. The sensitive places issue is a holdover from the Heller decision in 2008. It was restated in the Bruin case 2022 from the Supreme Court. And these blue state governors believe that if they simply designate an area as a sensitive place, they can bypass court precedent and pass these sweeping bans on open carry. It's absurd, but again, that's what Dave Paul voted for. Of course, not a single criminal in the entire state will not attack one of these locations, parks, libraries, things like that, because of these stupid laws. But you and I have to follow them or we risk criminal penalties. Number 4, he was a yes on the regulation/banning of homemade firearms in this state. Lots of guys like to tinker with firearms in their basement. My grandfather loved doing that kind of stuff. But now if you and I do it, if it's not registered with the state, it's a criminal offense, even though, again, it won't stop a single criminal. I want to note all of this. The backdrop on this It's not just the violent crime wave we have right now. It's the fact that under the left's policies with Joe Biden, we have, and we know we have, over 10 million foreign nationals who have poured into our nation in the last 4 years. We have no idea who they are. We have no idea what they've done. What we do know is the DHS says they have a non-detained docket that contains hundreds of thousands of these foreign nationals who were convicted of crimes but have not been locked up and have not been deported. On that list is over 10,000 people convicted of murder or rape. They're convicted by our courts. They have not been deported and they are not currently incarcerated. It's called the non-detained docket. So this is the absurdity that we have to live with. We have these people roaming our streets, and this arrogant, sanctimonious Dave Paul believes his job is to limit the rights that you have, that I have, to protect our families. It's preposterous. But again, what's coming next? Well, I'll tell you, and it's not good. Number one is ammo registration. It's already a law in California and in New York, and it's coming here very quickly, where you're going to have to register with the state every round of ammo you buy. Again, these people, these elite leftist punks, don't track violent criminals. They want to track you. They want to track me. And they want to track every single round you buy. That's number one. And number two is perhaps the worst thing that we've ever heard of, and that is mental health exams for gun owners. Mental health exams for gun owners. Again, this is already moving in other blue states. It's being talked about here. We're being told this bill will be coming up early next session. And what it would literally do is require all of us to sit with a Bob Ferguson, or I guess Jay Inslee approved mental health professional, whatever that even means these days, to see if we are mentally sound enough to buy and possess a firearm. Now, if you admit to loving the Second Amendment or loving your founding fathers or believe that Bob Ferguson and Jay Inslee are insane, does that make you unfit? Well, it might. In the eye of the beholder, which in this case is a state paid for mental health professional, sure it could. This is the kind of crap that dictators last century did to their political opponents, deemed them mentally unfit, and then did horrible, unspeakable things to them. You might think it sounds crazy. I'm telling you, this is on the agenda, and it's already being moved in other blue states right now. And Dave Paul would support all of this, all these attacks against our gun rights. So guys, that's our recap in this race. It's pretty straightforward. If you see Gary Wray, thank him for his strong support of common sense and policies that would stop endangering public safety. If you see Dave Paul, I'd ask him to apologize for endangering the safety of you, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, because that's exactly what his policies have done. Guys, again, we cannot boost this video on social media, so do me a favor, share it on your own platform, tag your friends in the comment section, make sure everyone knows what Dave Paul has done to the Second Amendment.